If you could see how you are balanced right now, you would lose it. You're gonna fall at any second. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to this week's video. Officially spring here. The weather where I live is very unpredictable. Like today it's in the 70s and yesterday it was in the 40s. So it's just all over the place. Flowers are blooming and I'm really hoping that spring is here because I'm so excited. I'm so ready for it. I love winter. Like I love being cozied up in my warm little blankets and reading my books, but my brain does not like the winter for many reasons. So I'm excited for it to warm up and get lots of sunshine and yeah, have some like redecorating and stuff that I'm doing around the house. I also got a new chair for myself for the outside. I have furniture out there, but it's not very comfortable. We got it cheap when we first moved in, and I don't like sitting out there for long periods of time, but I want to sit out there and read and stuff, so especially during the spring. It is Monday. Tomorrow I have to take our youngest cat, Oswald, to the vet for a follow-up. I also have a doctor's appointment. Discuss something that I might share at some point on my channel. Yeah, we'll see. It's a surgery that I might get that is going to require a recovery period, so it might affect my channel at some point, so I might talk about it, but it's not going to be for a while. We're ramping up things at work, so I'm actually busy in the work sphere, and then of course my side business stuff has kind of ramped up as well. My main focuses as far as hobbies is going to be reading and playing Zelda. I am like not even 25% of the way through, but I'm really liking it. I started a reread and annotation of Twilight, but I'm feeling like a really toxic romance, so I might jump on Wattpad and pick something to read. I might troll some Goodreads lists for some toxic romances because I have been watching, okay, this is a complete side tangent, but I have been watching GTRP, the video game GTA, has a roleplay server, and this streamer that I watch on Twitch, Stream It, plays a clown character, and he has this romance with this girl who's from another gang, and it's so just like tension filled and angst filled, and he's like a simp for her, like hard simping for her, and she is so toxic, and it's so entertaining to watch. I kind of want to read something that gives me that energy because I'm a little bit tired of fantasy romance or fantasy in general, and I want to read like a contemporary, maybe like a mafia story that is just incredibly toxic. We're gonna try to find something and we're gonna read it and I'm gonna talk about it because that's just kind of the mood that I'm in. I love a good toxic romance. Like obviously we can talk about that fiction versus real life, toxic romances, stuff like that, but I just love them. I eat them up. I eat them up. And I know that Penelope Douglas's second book in their Falls Boys, I think, series comes out this month, but I think it's not for like another week or so. And I'm hoping that will be toxic because it's Penelope Douglas, but I need to find something. I need to find something. And then we'll talk all about it because it's just like so fun. My life in general is very low drama, low stake, and I love to read about the complete opposite, just like so fun. Obviously I don't want that in real life. I don't have that in real life, so I am home from work for the day, obviously, and so I'm gonna watch some RP, and we might read a little bit later on, but I don't have any like special tasks that I need to accomplish. Just enjoying having the windows open and stuff. The eclipse is supposed to happen in like a little bit, so that's gonna be interesting, and I'm for sure gonna walk out and look directly at it. That's today. I'm feeling rambly, but I'm gonna go watch more of this. Let's talk about the absolutely unhinged reading behavior I am exhibiting right now. So this morning I ended up taking our youngest to the vet. Everything was fine. He just needed some vaccines. And now I'm back. And in between my doctor's appointment later, I'm gonna read. I started a bunch of random stuff. I reached out to my stepsister and was like, give me the most unhinged, toxic fan fiction you've ever read. And so she gave me some recommendations. So I decided to read Duplicity, which is a fan fiction on Wattpad. It's Harry Styles, And basically it's like if One Direction was the mafia, I think, and it's supposed to be extremely toxic. I am only on chapter 6 of 100, and they have met, and she was a teenager. She goes to their concert, they meet up backstage. He gets mad that she doesn't want to have sex with him. She almost gets assaulted by one of the band members. Fast forward 3 years, she's trying to get into NYU for photography, and they tell her that she needs some in-field experience, so she gets made their photographer. She's obviously very like hesitant to do this because of the past experiences and just like the shit that she knows about the band and like Harry specifically. The writing is god awful, and I mean that in the most loving way possible. Like, I'm so happy that people feel comfortable sharing their stories on, you know, fan fiction websites, and I love people who express their creativity in whatever way they see fit. Objectively, it's just not good. The writing is like someone who just took a book of synonyms and tried to find synonyms for every word that they used. It's very excessive, but my stepsister, who has decided to reread it with me, did say that it gets better over time, so I'm kind of just gonna write it out. I trust in her. And then I also started some webtoons. I love webtoons. I think this is another great platform for people to express their creativity. I decided to start a couple just to like try them out, and I saved a couple, all romances of course, and I think the one that I'm going to try to read, I have 2 that I'm interested in. So we have The Mafia Nanny, which is about a girl who has been raised to like be an elite nanny for like really important people, and she went to like a nanny academy. One of the crime bosses who murdered her family when she was younger requests her as a nanny, and she obviously has to accept. So she wants to get answers for like why her family was killed and all that kind of stuff, and I'm pretty sure it's a romance. And then the other one is Your Wish, which is a romance, and heroine is really young. She goes to like a wishing tree, wishes for true love, I think, because her mom's like dying wish was that she would find true love, and so she wishes for true love, and she meets like a demon or the devil or something like that, and I'm sure we're gonna skip forward to when she's like an adult or whatever. And then I have some others saved that I'm gonna give a shot, but I do want to try to read those first because they've kind of intrigued me the most. I started the first chapter of like a bunch of different ones, but those are the ones that really intrigued me. And then I also have this whole stack of books to read. So as I mentioned, I am reading Twilight. I started this in my last vlog. I am 168 pages in. I am at the scene where he saves her and they have dinner together. I think I'm just gonna pick it up as I want, as I'm feeling it. We also have House of Earth and Blood, which is the first book in the Crescent City series, which is like an urban fantasy series, and I have read it 3 or 4 times via physical book or audiobook, but my stepsister is currently reading all of Sarah J. Maas's books, and she has read Akhtar, Throne of Glass, so now she wants to move on to Crescent City. I adore this series. I understand that not everybody loves it, and I see the critiques, but I love it. It's a huge comfort, and I think the second one's great, and I like the murder mystery aspect to it, so I'm going to start this at some point because she's going to start it this week, and obviously we're reading together, so we have this as well. And then lastly, I decided to start a book off my physical TBR because I do kind of want to get through it still. That's like my end of the year goal, but I still want to try. So I decided to pick up To Cage a God, a fantasy romance, and in the beginning, a girl is, I think similarly, her family has also been killed, and she is like a runner for some sort of like rebellious group, and I know that she has like a dragon god or whatever caged inside her. This doesn't have the best reviews, but I'm only 15 pages in, but like I don't see any glaring issues so far. Everything that I've read as far as reviews go has said that it's boring, so we'll see how it goes. So those are kind of the things that I'm reading. I would like to finish something at some point this week. I have really slowed down with my reading. I do have a soft goal of 200. Soft meaning like that's my goal, reading goal for the year, but I won't be like heartbroken if I don't reach it. Last year I didn't read a ton and I'm not like mad about it. I'm trying to take reading slow and like get back into the hobby of reading. Like obviously last year I still read constantly, but it wasn't quite as like serious. Since I started my channel 2020, 2021, and 2022, I was reading like 7 books a week. I was reading a ton, and I don't want to do that anymore. And one of my goals was for this year was to find a lot of really good books, and that kind of means like diversifying what I'm reading. And so I do want to get through a lot of the fantasy on my TBR, but I'm also really wanting to branch out, read webcomics, maybe pick up some literary fiction coming up. So we'll see. But I'm reading a lot right now. I have a lot of stuff on my plate, and sometimes if I'm reading too much, I get really overwhelmed. And so I do need to kind of rein it in and decide what I want to focus on. Like I for sure am going to be reading House of Earth and Blood, because like I have a buddy read, but everything else is kind of up in the air. So we'll see. I think I'm gonna focus on the webcomics, see how I like them, and then we'll go from there. I still wanna find like a really just ridiculous, toxic story that we can like have fun talking about, because that's just how I'm feeling right now. And it sounds like fun to just scream and kick my feet and cry and all of that over something just so unhinged. Happy Thursday, friends. I haven't really been doing too much, to be completely honest. I have just been reading a lot. I have been completely obsessed with the Mafia Nanny, or My Mafia Nanny, or whatever it is. I have fully caught up, and I'm now waiting for the new releases, and I love it so much. The tension between the two main characters is so good. The relationship of the kid with everybody else is so good. The underlying storyline is really good. She gets employed by this mafia mob boss, and he lost his wife a couple years ago. She went missing, and he seems to have like a really rocky relationship with his uncle who runs the mafia family, and he's being watched, and he doesn't trust his uncle, and he's doing things to like undermine his uncle, and he's being punished and stuff like that. So like there's a lot going on. People are hunting down his son because they know that he's the heir. Then we also have her like saving the son. He gets kidnapped like 6 times, and she saves him in various different ways, and she's trying to find out more information about what happened to her family. She finds out that they are a crime, like just so good. It's so good. The tension is great. The art is fantastic. I love it so much. But I did end up catching up to the releases, so I need to start something else. I continued to read My Wish, but I'm just not the biggest fan of it. I don't really like the art style, and I don't really like the story and the way that the characters interact, so I'm gonna move on. I have been reading To Cage a God. I am now 108 pages in, and I'm really liking it. I don't see the complaints about it being boring and slow. It's pretty good. So basically we open the story with two sisters. They're not blood related, but one of them is the daughter of a rebellion leader who was killed, and the other is a girl whose family died. That rebellion leader did experiments on them and put dragon gods in them. So like in this world, the really powerful nobles, queens, kings, people like that have dragon gods in them, and that gives them abilities, and so they can do various things. The dragon gods were like basically taken from another world and put into their bodies, so they rebel. But the nobles and stuff, like their powers have been passed down generation to generation, whereas the two girls, their dragons were implanted in them, and nobody knows about this. And so we start the story with them coming together to plan the death of the Empress, who really is the cause for all of this. Like her and her husband, who has passed at the beginning of the story, are not good people. And so they plan to use one of the sisters' powers, who has the same power as the Empress. They plan to use her to get into the castle and eventually take over and kill the Empress. And then the other sister is working on cure or something to remove the god from people's bodies and send them back to where they were originally from. And it's really good. The sister that's in the castle, I think, is going to have a romance with the princess of the Empress. And then the other sister who's working on the cure is going to have a relationship with a guy that she was with previously that is not a fan of people with powers and is trying to also overthrow the government and also kill her sister, even though he doesn't know that that's her sister. And I think they're gonna have lovers to enemies to lovers relationship that I'm excited for. I'm here for it. I think it's interesting, and I don't quite get what the complaints are about, but I'm only 100 pages in. It's like 450-ish pages. And yeah, I mean, unless it just slows down dramatically, which like it could, I still have 300 pages to go. I don't see myself not liking it. So as far as finding a toxic romance, I haven't found anything yet. I was gonna continue reading Duplicity, but honestly, it's rough. So I'm gonna try to find something else, I think, if I can't find a webtoons that I'm really vibing with. This weekend we're going to go outside and read if it's not too rainy, because it's been raining here for the past couple days, and we're gonna enjoy the outside. I haven't been able to get out this week, which is sad because it's been nice aside from the rain. Hopefully it won't rain the rest of the weekend. And then next week I am getting my surgery. It's happening a lot faster than I was really anticipating, but I'm pretty excited. I don't know if I'll be able to film because the recovery time is a week, and I don't know what that recovery time is going to look like, but on Tuesday I'm going in and I'm getting it, and I'm very nervous, but I'm very excited. I am getting a tubal ligation, which is I'm getting my tubes tied. My specific gynecologist, she's removing my fallopian tubes, so I will go in on Tuesday, get the surgery done, and then be back home and be on bed rest for a week. I am extremely excited. It is something that I have wanted for a really, really long time, but we as women are allowed to make decisions for our bodies. And so I had to be of age, and I had to basically prove that I didn't want kids. Last year, I tried to get it done after like 30-45 minutes of my gynecologist trying to convince me otherwise. And then I had the schedule and everything, and then I ended up having to cancel it because my insurance was shit and I would have to pay way more than I could afford. And so this year I'm on different insurance, and I'm really hoping that it's affordable and that I can get it done because it's something that I need. It's something that feels like a little bit of reclaiming my body, and I feel like I need to get it done before they start pumping babies in us, like they start pumping us for baby. I'm very excited, and I just feel like last year when I had to cancel, it was very heartbreaking, and it felt like a little bit of a loss, and that sounds so weird to say. Like it's hard to conceptualize and to verbalize, but I feel like this is getting a little bit of that back, and I'm very excited. I'm not excited about the surgery. I've never had a major surgery done before. I've never been under anesthesia before, so I'm very nervous about that experience, but I know like this is the right move, and it just feels right, and I can't have kids anyways, and so I don't I've never wanted kids. I don't want kids, obviously, but even if I did, I can't have them. I'm also thinking about donating my eggs. So if you've gone through that process of donating your eggs, I would love to talk about it if you are comfortable, because I'm thinking of donating my eggs. I like want to do that because I know, yeah, I want to do that for someone. I want to donate my eggs. So if you've gone through that process, let me know. So that's happening next week and I'm nervous. So I think my plan is going to be to read this weekend. I don't want to play any Breath of the Wild because if I'm going to be in bed for a week, that I want to have that to do. And then I'm also not doing any side business stuff until next week because again, I want to have stuff to do, and all of the stuff that I have to do is on the computer. So I don't need to worry about having to get up to do it, but yeah, I'm pretty excited. And then next weekend we have a card tournament and we'll see how that goes. It's Saturday and my surgery's on Tuesday, so we'll see if I even am up for it. I'm really hoping so. Like I really want to do the tournament, but yeah, so we'll see. I'm nervous, I'm excited, and it feels good. So for the rest of the day, I'm gonna go into work. I'm alone in the office for the majority of the day. I'm going to get some reading done, try to find something to read. I would like to find a really juicy romance for us to read this weekend. I have the house to myself. I want to read outside. I am just feeling good, which is really exciting because yesterday, okay, this is a complete side tangent and this is gonna be like a really long clip, but I wrote down some notes yesterday that I wanted to talk to you guys about because I just didn't feel like filming yesterday, quite frankly. I went into a complete spiral for unrelated reasons, just some family stuff, and I completely spiraled out. I wanted to kind of talk about what was happening, not the family stuff, but like this thoughts patterns that I was having. So there's a couple of things. So first up, I get really obsessed with content, and so if you've been on my channel recently, you'll know that I've been really into watching GTARP. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I've been watching this one streamer and I've been watching it too much, and I get into like this hangover state where I just feel hungover and almost sick mentally of focusing on one thing too much, and that's kind of how I'm feeling about that. So I was struggling a lot with that. It's sort of a weird thing to happen, but it's something that I realized was happening. I don't know if that's like a common thing. I don't know if that's even making any sense, but I've decided to take a step back from that. The same thing happened a while ago when I first started watching RP with a different streamer, and I had to stop watching them. And so I'm trying to like nip that in the bud because I do really like this streamer and I want to continue watching their content, but I need to like take a break. Another is I'm really struggling to get into a routine, and I wanted to do this last week. I didn't really do it for my getting out of a slump video, and I'm still really struggling with that because I never feel like my life is that busy. Like I have a lot going on, and I feel like I don't really need a routine because of that. Like nothing that I do is really time sensitive. Like there's stuff for work, there's little tasks for work that I need to get done, but nothing is ever like really big that I need a routine for. And so I always feel like no routine works for me, and I don't know how to like establish a routine that continually works and is sustainable, but I feel lost without one, and I don't know what to do about that. And so that's something that was weighing heavy on me yesterday. I also feel like I need a really big creative project to focus on. I have been reading different things, branching out, listening to different podcasts, reading different types of books, and consuming different types of content. And I feel like I need somewhere to focus all of my energy creatively, and I don't quite know what that looks like. I have tossed around the idea of doing video essays. I've done a couple on my channel and I really love them. They're some of my favorite videos. I think I'm going to plan some more, and I'm going to take them video at a time, come up with the idea, the script and all of that, and then film it and move on to the next one and not try to do multiples at once. I just, yeah. I need something to focus on. Like these weekly vlogs are great, I love them, but I need something bigger. I need to think about what that looks like and what I plan on doing. So those were just some of the thoughts that I was having aside from like the family situation. I thought I would share them with you. So yeah, we'll talk later.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk a little bit about dissociative identity disorder.
I'm wearing this very cute t-shirt dress, but of course I have biker shorts on underneath because I only get my thighs out for Jesus. I'm a good Christian girl. Happy Friday, friends. It is 4 o'clock and I got off work, had to get my blood drawn, and then I came home and spent about 3 hours trying to build my chair, my outdoor chair that came in the mail today, and I couldn't. So then I just wanted to lay out, so I took the cushion from the chair and laid out in the yard for a little bit. I was reading To Cage of God. I got 248 pages in and I'm really liking this, but I have found a toxic romance. I reached out to my fellow toxic romance queen Tamika for a recommendation, and then I scoured my ever-growing list of Kindle Unlimited books I wanted to read, and I decided to pick up The Choice by Ashley Jade. Coincidentally, Tamika recommended me another Ashley Jade book, Hate Me or something like that. I've started The Choice. I started it while I was waiting for my blood draw. I got 17 pages in and it's quite dark so far. It has the same characters from The Words, which I read 2 years ago and gave 5 stars. People that they knew when they were kids. We open the story with the heroine. She open the prologue with her as a kid assaulted by her uncle who she lives with, and then we flash to the hero's point of view. He just got taken in by a foster family with his brother, not biological, but they like grew close in the foster care system, like neighbors. They haven't met yet, and like I said, I'm not that far in, but quite dark so far, obviously. And then we're gonna read Hate Me. I might just go to Hate Me if this one is like too dark, if it's dealing with stuff that I just don't really want to, like, I want to have fun. I don't want to get fucked up, you know what I mean? So I might move on to Hate Me, but we'll see. So the plan for the rest of the day is to read. My partner is gonna get home, hopefully help me build the chair so that we can hang out outside tomorrow. Tomorrow my mom is coming over, but it's just like we're just gonna read while she's here, so we'll talk. So my mom came over today and we basically did a bunch of decor stuff, so I didn't record it, but I'm really happy with the way things are turning out. I kind of finally feel like our house is the state that it needs to be, or that I want it to be. I have spent about collectively probably 8 hours building this chair. I built it wrong the first time when I finally got it, and then I had to rebuild it, and now it finally is built right, and I love it. I'm outside now, obviously, but I am a big fan of the chair. It was fairly inexpensive. I got it on sale, and I really like it. Very comfy, a lot more comfy than the chairs that we had previously. It's big, it's spacious. I'm excited to spend a lot of time out here this spring and summer. I am 32% of the way through Hate Me. I did decide to pick this up because I was looking for something more fun, and I realized Tamika knows me so well. This is a bully romance, which if you've been on my channel for any length of time, you'll know that I am a bully romance girl. That is my preferred dark romance subgenre. And so I decided to start this knowing that it would be fun. This is basically about, it's like a stepbrother bully romance about a girl whose mother marries her high school bully's father, and they don't have the best relationship. Obviously it's a bully romance. He doesn't like her. They've known each other since they were kids, and her father passes away because he's a con man and someone kills him, and they end up having to live together, obviously, because their parents marry. And he is written as a psychopath. We don't know to what extent that is true, and we know that he has a bad relationship with his dad, if not borderline abusive, and they have an antagonistic relationship. We've had several assault scenes between the heroine and other people, which is not my favorite. The heroine is not the best person, which I guess is good for a bully romance, because you don't want someone that is super soft and loving and all of that necessarily with a guy who's bullying her, but she is working as a sex worker part-time to pay for college. She's having an affair with a grown man who has known her since she was a baby, who was her dad's best friend. He is married to a woman who is dying of ALS, which is just so lovely. That's kind of the start of the book. She is going to a private academy, and he's not necessarily a popular guy, which is kind of a change up from the usual storyline for these bully romances. He's kind of a loner, an outcast. People are kind of scared of him, and he's obviously attractive and all the girls want him, but he's not in the popular group. Not the best bully romance that I've ever read, but it's doing the job. It's doing what I wanted it to do. It's fitting that toxic role that I wanted. My plan is for the rest of the day is to read out here. I need to go in an hour to feed the cats, but then I'm gonna come back out here, read some more until my partner gets home. I think I'm gonna try to make a carbonara for dinner. Should be interesting. I've never done a carbonara before, never made anything like it, so I'm gonna follow a recipe, but I'm excited to try new things, venture out. Going into next week, I bought a bunch of easy meals for us to do, because I obviously didn't know what my energy level would be, but yeah, so that's the plan. That's kind of what I'm reading. That's what I'm doing. I'll show you guys the house updates in some B-roll in a second, but I'm gonna get back to reading, I think. So before we talk about the new stuff, I thought we could unbox a new dust jacket, and currently have this dust jacket for A Court of Thorns and Roses. It matches my other, there's a full set of the 3, and I've had them for a while and I really like them, but I saw this edition of A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I knew that I just had to have it because I've been really wanting to get the UK paperback edition of the Once Upon a Broken Heart, I think. These right here, I think the UK editions are gorgeous, but I didn't love the book and I couldn't justify spending the money on the trilogy. I might at some point get it because I did like the first one, but I don't have like the biggest call to read them. Comes in this cute little packaging, but I saw this, I think Jody had it, and I knew that I wanted it, and I don't even know if it's gonna fit on my edition. It looks quite small. It's so pretty. It reminds me of the Once Upon a Broken Heart, the UK edition, and so I was like, I have to get that. I love the pink, and I want to like display it on my pink shelf. My pink shelf is getting bigger, which makes me so happy. So I got a used edition of A Quarter of Thorns and Roses. I don't know if this is gonna fit, and if this doesn't fit, I'm going to be heartbroken. It's quite big. I don't necessarily know if I just did it wrong or what, but it's quite big, and it's not like folded correctly at all. It doesn't fit, but I'm not mad about it. Like, it's just gonna sit on my shelf so I can like make it look cute. But it's so stinking cute. The details are so cute. I'm obsessed. Love it so much. Good purchase. I added this mirror a couple weeks ago, and I knew that I needed to put a table here, so my table came in today and I just sort of decorated it. The mirror is halfway on the wall, but I can't put the table halfway, so I added this tree to make it kind of like look less like it's uneven, and then this is like the decor. These are my cute little figurines. And then I have some bookends, and then the Twilight series, and 2 like special editions. I moved some paintings around. I got a fake Monet. It's my favorite. That's really it as far as like noticeable decor. Oh, I also removed like all the stuff that was here. Like, I had like a plant stand with stuff on it, and then I had a tree here, and I removed those because the room is so small and the TV looks so big that it needed to just like be less busy. And then I took the doors off and moved like bright decor there. So happy Sunday, friends. It is pretty early in the morning. It is 8 a.m. I had my morning coffee outside, which was very peaceful, and I'm looking forward to a day of just reading and hanging out. So I think I'm gonna wrap up this vlog. I did finish Hate Me last night. I ended up giving it 3 stars. I think it was like a generous 3. I enjoyed the majority of the story, but like the last 100 pages just completely goes off the rails. It's not like a typical bully romance, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but the story just takes a turn, like literally between one page and the next, and it just completely lost me. But it wasn't like a bad story. The relationship was weird and toxic and like what I was looking for, and the writing was quick and easy, and it's just like the story that I wanted, and it was okay for like the type of story that it is. It scratched that itch that I wanted. But probably for the rest of the day, I'm either gonna read some webtoons or To Cage a God. I also did get The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi from my library. I've been waiting forever for this, and I started it last night. I just got basically through like the first chapter, so I'm gonna be reading that, but that's not obviously gonna be in this vlog. So like I said, I think we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna spend the rest of my morning editing this video so that I can get it out for you guys, and then I'm gonna spend the rest of the day outside reading and stuff like that. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'd love to talk down in the comments your thoughts on anything that I read in the video or anything that I did. If you want to talk about how your week went, I would love to hear that. Or if you're enjoying spring or not, if it's helped your seasonal depression or not, like it's helped me. I just would love to talk. Other than that, all of my socials are linked down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you like content like this. I tend to focus on cozy vlogs about being a homebody, and we just have a good, cozy, fun time. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next one.